So, welcome everybody. My name is Christian Bauer. Welcome to the webinar, Powerful Document Generation in Dynamics 365 and Microsoft Flow. I'm absolutely happy that I'm not alone in this webinar, but together with Fabian Huber, Business Technology Evangelist of Docs42. Hi, Fabian.
Hello, welcome from my side as well. I'm Fabian, I'm Business Technology Evangelist, and I actually gained a lot of experience regarding document automation, and that's why I'm very happy to conduct the live demo later on. And I will prove everything what Christian is saying in the next second. So have fun and see you later. Thank you.
So actually, Fabian, you do have the tough job. I just need to do the talking. What do we have prepared for you? We will give you some overview about document generation in Dynamics 365, how you can do that, why it is important, what options you do have using Docs42, what usage scenarios there are, what a customer doing and why they are doing that. And then the main part will be an extensive live demo conducted by Fabian Huber. Okay. I shouldn't forget. In case you do have any questions, please be so kind and type them in the GoToWebinar panel. There is a question section. Please type your questions there. Yes, we will answer them, but not immediately. But by the end of the webinar, we have a section where we will answer these questions. Okay, then. Anything more I should say? No, I think
good. Sounds good.
Yeah, we are good to go. Okay. What kind of documents, or no, what I maybe should do is I should tell you something about Docs42 in advance. What is Docs42? It's a tool for document generation, of course. You can generate documents in a flexible way because you can design the templates in Microsoft Office in a way where also business user can do that. We have at the moment about 300 customers. That number is growing very quickly. We have about 80 partners, our headquarters in Vienna, and you see a selection of reference customer logos down there. What you can get from that is that Docs42 is used in any industry actually. Okay, and Docs42 is the preferred solution to create documents out of Dynamics 365, but not only. Docs42 also integrates with SharePoint, with Microsoft Flow, with databases, with SAP, and you name it. Okay. What kind of documents can you generate? I would not recommend to generate love letters. You can write them by hand. But if you want to generate contracts or quotes or inspection reports, service reports, health reports, project management reports, real estate valuations, and so on. So all kinds of structured documents where data is already present in Dynamics 365 or any other system, you can generate them with Docs42. Okay. Now, how are these documents created in real life? And in real life, in many cases, it's still copy-paste. If you don't believe me, walk please into your HR department and ask them how they do employee contracts. If you still don't believe me, talk to your sales guys and ask them how they do complex offers for their clients. In many cases, it's copy-pasting data out of existing systems like Dynamics 365 into normally it's Word templates or PowerPoint templates. Why they are doing that? Because it's flexible and they can create individual documents. Yeah. But at the same time, that's extremely costly. It's cumbersome. It's error prone. Yeah. You may do some typos. It's slow. It's 9 to 5. You cannot do that in the night, or at least you shouldn't. And this creates a lot of stress for the people who need to do that. Think about it. If you want to create, for example, some kind of patient letters or contracts or sales offers, and you do like say 30, 40 a day manually, would you like that? Okay, so business users tend to help themselves with Visual Basic for application, macros, some add-ins, apps, mail merge, and so on. And in the first place, this helps because it stays flexible, it stays individual, it is an automation approach. So error reduction is there, but still you're in low numbers. It's only on the client, so it's still 9 to 5. It's very hard to adapt. And from a process automation perspective, that's a dead end. Because you cannot, for example, trigger a Visual Basic for application macro from a Microsoft Flow. You cannot automate that. If you want to do that, you can use standard, of course, Dynamics 365 standard SQL Server reporting services, for example. That gives you server-side automation. It's 24/7. You can automate it. There's okay, the performance is okay, but flexibility is lost. Here you cannot create individual documents for your clients. Normally, if you take the out-of-box designs, they are not exactly pretty. If you want to integrate data from other systems, text blocks from SharePoint, images from your products, and so on, yeah, it's hard to do that. So you end up with corporate design by IT. Many of you will have heard that Microsoft has just released a new feature, Global Electronic Reporting, Business Document Management. This allows to create a model, a data model in Dynamics 365 for finance and operations, which is not a bad approach, and link that data model to Word documents and Excel documents at the moment. With Excel, you have to name ranges. They need to have the same names as the data sources in the model. And with Word, there is XML. You have XML integration with Word custom controls. This approach is, I would say, interesting, and it goes in an interesting direction because it uses Word documents, the same as Docs42 does, but it's a very, very limited thing because from the model you can access data from finance and operations only. You cannot access data from SharePoint, from other systems, like maybe you have a SAP system there as well. So this is crucial. And the other thing is you need to have a support for business user designing documents. And if they have to work with XML snippets, have fun. Yeah. So at the moment, this approach from Microsoft is interesting, but extremely limited. I would not recommend to use it at the moment. Because when you want to create documents automatically, there are 3 roles involved. It's IT, marketing, and business, and they have very different competences. Yeah? IT has the competence to automate processes, performance, security, but marketing has the competence to design documents in a beautiful way, because I mean, they are meant for your customers, they should like them, and business knows about the content, the process of the documents. So if you have the option to design document logic and document design in Microsoft Office, then marketing and business users can do their job. And this is exactly what Docs42 enables you, to design the document, the data integration, everything in Microsoft Office, and then create it out of Dynamics 365. So how does that look like? For example, on the left side of the screen, you see this example of a sales report, and the blue fields are data fields from some system. This is a Word document. On the right side of the screen, you see a PDF document generated out of that, and data can be, of course, textual data, formatted textual data, but images, dynamic charts, tables, hyperlinks, barcodes, text modules, and so on. Okay. And this data can be collected from Dynamics 365 in the first place. We have connections to CRM, NAV, AX, and the same thing in the cloud. So Dynamics 365 for sales, Business Central, and finance and operations. And additional to that, also SAP SharePoint, of course, Office 365 and SharePoint on-prem, Excel web services, databases, and you can mix data. So for example, a classic example, Fabian will show you in a few minutes, is how you create, for example, a quote out of Dynamics 365 for sales and integrate text modules, presentations, and even Excel calculations from SharePoint. Okay? Yeah, and you can use Excel as a calculation engine. So you can use formulas in Excel to dynamically calculate charts and formulas. And finally, you can create output documents in Microsoft Office formats, PDF, PDF-A. You can put documents to SharePoint. You can send them off via mail. You can send them for digital signature processes to DocuSign, for example, print them, and a lot more options. If you want to use Docs42 on-prem, fine, just do it. If you want to use Docs42 in the cloud, Docs42 Online is there for you. It's basically exactly the same functionality integrated via Azure Active Directory in a secure way. Okay? Docs42 integrates with Microsoft Flow. This is a spoiler. Fabian will show you this flow live in a live demo in a few minutes, where we create a quote out of, as soon as a quote is changed, you modify a quote in Dynamics 365 for sales, the PDF document is created automatically and stored to SharePoint. This flow does that. It doesn't look too complicated. Trust me, it isn't too complicated. We will show in a minute how it works. Okay, just a few ideas what customers are doing. You see a few reference customers logos here. As I said before, Docs42 is used in any industry, in every industry. I picked two stories for you. One is ABB. ABB is creating service reports and sales quotes for their turbochargers. So ABB has deployed about 200,000 turbochargers worldwide. So they're driving these big fast ferries, for example, or construction vehicles and so on. And the service reports and quotes are created out of Dynamics CRM in that case. Okay. And then there are a lot more application scenarios, of course. Another scenario is Transgourmet and Rewe. What I like most about the statement of Elena Schneider from Transgourmet is that they reached a break-even point after just 4 weeks. So document automation pays out. This is a SharePoint scenario, and Rewe Group is the biggest supermarket provider in Germany. They run about 10,000 supermarkets in Germany, a bit more supermarkets, shops in Germany. And whenever you walk into one of them and buy anything, then it was ordered by Docs42 out of a Navision scenario. So it's NAV on-prem in that case, and the purchase order is generated by Docs42. Okay, so far just to give you a few ideas what customers are doing. Now I will hand over to Fabian, who has created a tremendous live demo for you. Yeah, and let's go there, huh? Fabian.
Thank you very much, Christian. So yeah, I will prove what Christian told you recent minutes. What I prepared for you is actually a sales quote from Dynamics 365 for sales. And what we are doing, as Christian said before, we are integrating data from SharePoint. Not only data, we are integrating PowerPoint presentations, Excel calculations, or entire documents. And then the spoiler, here it is. So we will trigger the Docs42 flow, we will trigger a MS flow with Docs42 and generate a new sales quote. And I will show you, we will save this one in SharePoint then. And after that, we go a little bit deeper into the template design. How does it work? How can you connect data to CRM? And yeah, how easily can you design your templates? And we will do this I will do this with a sale quote example as well. And then at the end, we go to Dynamics Finance Operations and show you the functionality in Finance and Operations. And just let me know that it works in the same way with Business Central. So that it is, for us, the technology doesn't make any problem. So we can integrate all this data without programming. Good. So let us have a look into our sales quote environment. So we have a sales quote here. You see this, our sample company is called Solar Power Deluxe. They are providing products on the one hand, so they have the solar panels and the panel holders and so on, and they are providing the installation of these panels on the roof of the customers. And that is the reason that this sales quote cannot be listed these 3 products in a sales quote. So they need further information. And there's a very good collaboration tool. It's called SharePoint. And in this case, we have a sales quote, a sales order list. And you see it in the sales orders. There we have quote modules. And the quote modules, you see there, I just have the same folder with the same quote ID. And there are some documents integrated which different departments are working on. And to give you a better clue what it is, so we have the solar presentation, for example. So you have the technician who is working on the solar, on the connection plan, then as well on the calculations for the installation of the solar panels on the roof of the customer. Then you have sales departments who is working on the cover letter, for example, and maybe there is a marketing department which would like to integrate a little marketing incentive. So all this information, as well as the information of the products here from CRM, should go in one sales quote. And as I said, I had a lot of meetings with a lot of companies. They are really doing it, as Christian said before, copy pasting. So they have a Word template and then integrate step by step one of the document, and they need hours or weeks to generate a sales quote. What we are doing is, we have just a button, and we can click on the button, and Christian told you about some output actions. I would like to generate this sales quote right now, and just clicking on the button generate PDF quote. So I get a PDF return and can just have a look at the PDF. And what is happening right now, so the Docs42 online server, in this case, we are using Docs42 online server, but we also can use the Docs42 on-prem server. So in this demo environment, we have both integrated. We will generate the document. So I'm sorry, I had to log in again. So now let's try it again because I had a timeout. So right now I'm calling the Docs42 server. The server is basically integrating all this data as well as the data from SharePoint in one Word template. And this Word template we previously designed once, and then you can generate all the documents and as many documents as you need with just one click. So here it is. Let's open this one to give you a clue how this sales quote should look like. And here you see it is, so the information here is directly from CRM. So this is the customer, there as well as the quote ID. Then this is the Word document, which we have seen before from SharePoint integrated. Then you see on the second page, there is the product table. This is exactly these products with pictures as well. And then here on the bottom, there is the calculation plan from Excel. This is coming from SharePoint. And on the third page, the PowerPoint presentation, in this case with just one slide, and the little marketing incentive. Well, so this is the first thing, so that you can just generate a quote and get a return, but we want to save this, we want to generate the quote and save this one to SharePoint. So let's look how this looks like. So I just click here on the button again, calling the Docs42 online server, and we defined that we want to have the quotes in our SharePoint Dynamics sales order list and library in this case, and this is here. So let's see what happens. Again, the Docs42 online server is integrating all the information into our Word template, which is here in this in the sales orders as well, and generates me a document. And you see a few seconds ago, here it is, there's my document. It also is named with metadata, and you can also have, here's a column with the quote ID. So this is what Docs42 as well does, so you can write metadata as well. And just to prove you that I'm not that I'm true, you see this is the same document. Well, so now we have seen actually just the return action and the SharePoint action. And what I like to show you is as well, a lot of salesmen just love it if they generate a document and then they want to individualize email text. So you as well can just generate a draft email. Let's do this again. Then I get an MSG file. The document is attached, and I can directly individualize the email text. And this is very good for the salesman as well, because he can immediately maybe individualize a little bit, says, hey, hello, you are the best, for example. So you can individualize and send it directly to the customer. You see Michaela Mitarbeiter, she is who receives the quote. Okay, and what we were talking about is we were talking about the flow. So as Christian said, we have a flow, and if I just modify a quote, and let's do this right now, I just modify this quote. I call it Solar Power Deluxe, Solar Panels Deluxe, because this is, of course, there was a mistake. And let's see what happens. This quote list is now modified. You see, this is now modified. It's called now Solar Power Deluxe. So meaning what is happening right now. The flow is triggered right now, and basically what the flow is doing, he knocks at the Docs42 online server and says, okay, there was a modification. Please again generate the document with the new information, of course, and put it to SharePoint in the same list. So while I'm talking, I just open this SharePoint list, and let's see right now the document should be generated. And of course, you can overwrite the existing document, but in this case, we just we added a new naming, so you can see in this webinar that there's the possibility. Of course, here it is. There's the flow webinar, the flow update. This is the new document, and if I open this document, you will see that there is this new modification. So we have our new document modified. So it's pretty cool if the flow does all the work for me. And now let's go back in the scenario. So you're happy with your information here. Everything is correct now. So the guy from sales says, okay, I'm fine. This quote is perfect. We send it directly to Michaela Mitarbeiter. This is good. So he clicks on the button right now again. The server will generate the document, attach it to an email, and send it directly without the MSG file to Michaela Mitarbeiter. And this is a demo account for us. So here it is set done. The server did his job. So I open my email account. I go to Michaela Mitarbeiter. This is my demo account here, and you see here it is. This is the email text. You see the email text as well contains metadata, the quote ID. As this is for us, the email text as well is a Word template, and so we can integrate metadata as well into the email text. And here there is my new Solar Panel Deluxe sales quote with the updated information. Good. So basically what we have seen right now, so we saw the return action just to have a look at the document, then we saw the SharePoint action. Of course, you can generate all the Office formats as well if you want, but yeah, then the email action, the draft email action, we have seen the flow all in one thing. Right now, I guess I can imagine that you're very interested to see how the template looks like. And this is why I would like to show you the template for this specific sales quote. And then afterwards, I will directly start from scratch, building a new little, I connect to CRM data and build a new smaller sales quote for you that you can see how easily you can connect to the data. Good. So let's have a look into our sample template, the sales quote template. As we promised, it is Microsoft Word. Designing happens in Microsoft Office. And so of course, you can also design PowerPoints and Excels, but in this case, it makes sense to use Word. And what you can see here is the Docs42 ribbon. There's the add-in in the Docs42 add-in in the ribbon. And we have some functionality here. And the most important thing is our data map. So the data map is a little bit the heart of the document. So if I click here on the data map, you see there's all my data connected already. This is the CRM data. You see there's SharePoint data connected, Excel data. And if you see there, all this data can be connected at the same time without programming. And here it is. This is the NAV, Business Central table or reports, even SAP data. And you see here the Dynamics for Finance Operations data source. There's the O data source and the data source. We will come to that later on. Okay, after connecting all this data, you have the possibility to insert the blue Docs42 data fields. Clicking on Insert Data Field opens the Docs42 Data Field Explorer on the right-hand side, and then you see there's all the connected data, and you can then drag and drop and put the data into the document. What I would like to do is I would generate this document quickly, so I can put it side by side, and you see a little bit what happened, and then afterwards we start from scratch with a new one. So if I click on generate, I can always generate documents locally on my client. And here it is. This is the exact Solar Panels Deluxe template. I will select this one. And after generating the document, we will put this two documents side by side, and I will show you what happened. So this is basically just the designer. A lot of people, they're just generating documents from the system. They just click on a button and use the Docs42 server. Just the designer is doing the work in the add-in. I promised to put this side by side. So here it is. And you see that for us, it doesn't matter. This one is an image. So we define this one in Docs42 add-in as an image, and we will receive an image in the final document. Here's all the information from CRM. This one is our Word document from SharePoint, and this you see is just a data field, and this data field is from our SharePoint data source, from the modules, and it is a Word document, so that's why we defined this one as a Word document. Docs42 knows how to integrate it and where to integrate it, and does exactly the work for us. And then there is the product table. You see, basically, this is just one line from the products. We have the possibility to add the dynamic tables. So we just repeat for our data sources. As many products are listed in CRM, they will be listed afterwards then here in our document. And here it is, the same thing with the service table. This is Excel data. And you see at the end, there is a little, the PowerPoint presentation, which we defined the data field as a PowerPoint, so that our PowerPoint presentation is integrated. And at the end, there's the marketing incentive. Okay, so let's jump into the designing part. I will start from scratch, as I promised, and show you how to connect to data. And I just prepared a little bit for you. As again, we have the sales quote, and it is a nearly empty document. And we will connect data. I just have, I connected. Let me open again the Data Field Explorer. This is the first thing I need to do to connect to data from CRM. And we have some data connected, not that much like in the other example. And what's missing is our account information. So who should receive the sales quote? And this is why I will connect to the account entity from CRM right now. Basically what I'm doing, I just click here on CRM data source. I have to insert the CRM URL. I could copy it directly from my browser, but I prepared an Excel connection file, which is best practice. This is why I'm showing it to you right now. It is an Excel, which we connected first. We have a URL in our Excel file, so I just select this one dynamically, and then I can read the site link dynamically. And the same thing is with username and password. I can put here Fabian and so on, but I would prefer using a crypto data source. That's why I just prepared a crypto data source, and I can read my user credential information as well in a crypto way. So clicking on connect opens is connecting to our CM data, and here right now I can select my entities. And we were talking about the account entity. You see there are all the entities. There are a lot of them, and I just need the account entity, so I select them, and now I get listed all my data fields. And here I can just scroll down and select the data fields, but I have the possibility to have a search bar here. So what I need first of all is the name of the customer. So I put the name here, and you see if I scroll down, there's the name. Then I select it. I just check the tick box here, and this data field is selected. Then the next thing which I need is the address information. For example, address line 1. So I select address line 1. Then we have maybe a postal code, which is interesting. We have a city where the customer is living. So I select this data, and I always can show selected only. So I see, okay, I have here 4 selected data fields. They are enough for me. I have to do just one little thing. I have to tell Docs42 which quote, which customer is for which quote. So I add a filter here, and it's always good to use the account ID because this is unique. Sorry, I have to untick this box. So now we have the account ID, and what we're doing here is we add a filter equals our quote ID. So then Docs42 knows, okay, if I select the solar panels deluxe quote ID, then the specific customer Evangelist CEO is supposed to be integrated. So I search here for the data field customer ID and equals it, and right now I get the right information for the correct customer. And okay, this CRM one doesn't look very beautiful, so let's call it customer. Good. If I close this one, you see right now on the right hand side, if I open the Data Field Explorer again, I have here my new added data source. And now I can start, as I said, drag and drop, insert the data. I also can here double click on the data field, and then I get it integrated, and I can always test and generate the document locally, what this of course the designer is doing all the time. So you just add a data field and see how it looks like, and this is what we're doing right now. So let's see if this worked properly, and I generate the document, and you will see here it is the information Evangelist CEO. So, and this is then what the designer is doing. So he is just putting the data on the correct position and is formatting as he is used to do it in Word. So we have the address line here, and let's put it there. Then I have a postal code somewhere. And for example, the city where the customer is living, So this is basically what he's doing. And you see there's the product table. And for the product, we said we can integrate images and a lot more. And I will show you, for example, the image, how we integrate this one. So I search for the entity image, and I will find the data field here, the product information. This is our entity image. And I just have to tell Docs42 that this data field, this is a image. And to do that, I have here my drop-down and can select the image field. Then I can define a dimension for the image. I click OK, and right now this data field is defined as an image and will be then shown as an image. And I need as well, of course, a description for the product. So this one, for example, and now I will generate this one to see what happened. Yeah, that looks good. Then, of course, I have the price per unit. I have these 3 data fields here. Those data fields were already connected, so I'm pretty quick with that. I just say price per unit. This is one data field. Then I have the quantity, for example. I put the quantity, and at the end there's the amount. So let me show you now what happened. So you see there is some little issues with the formatting. I can fix this in a second. I just have to tell Docs42 that this one is a number. So I click here on my data field again. I have my type here and I call it as a number, and then say, okay, now it's defined as a number. And the same thing with the quantity. So you have a lot of format strings. You can use all your format strings you need, and then define it as you would like to look like your number you desire to look like your number. No, sorry, you know what I mean. Just you can define here your format string for your numbers. And there, for example, there is the, let's add the euro, the currency symbol as well. And now this is defined. Yeah, this is defined as, now we have just listed one product, and this is what I told you before. We can just automate this range right now. This is just one line in our table, and I click here on automate range, and you see there's opening another window, and here I can select automate repeat for data source. So if I select my data source and all the information, the products are listed in the products order information. So I would like to repeat this line for all the products in the product order information data source. I also can add conditions. So there are a lot of possibilities. So I can add conditions around specific data fields. You see the insert operators or the AND or logic operators. So you can do it around specific data fields or around text blocks. Good, so I click here on OK, and then you see there is this repetition tag. Let's generate this one right now, and then let's see what happened, how this little sales code looks like. Well, the formatting is fixed, and you see the products are listed, all the 3 of them. And there's just one more thing to show you. A lot of customers there, they need barcodes in some way, and you can define every data field as a barcode, and I will show it to you. So let's select the name data field. I put this one here, and right now, if I select here my type for barcodes, I have like 40 barcodes out of the box. You see, there are a lot of them. And I just define a dimension of the barcode here. And right now, then after doing that, I can generate the document again, and you will see the barcode is integrated as well. So here it is. That was just one click. Okay, so as I said, it's a little tiny sales code, but this is basically how you do it. You do it once, you design your template once, and then you can use it all the time, just clicking directly from the system on the button and have your document generated. That saves a lot of time. Okay, now from the demo agenda, again, back to the demo agenda, we did the template design, we showed you the MS flow, I showed you the sales codes, a lot of output actions. Now let's go to the finance and operations. And we have a demo environment for you. In this case, it is actually the invoice journal, because you most of the time you like to have beautiful individualized looking documents for customers. Internal reports most of the time don't need to be generated with Docs42, but you can, of course, but you don't have to. And that's why we just selected we chose to have a demo environment with the invoice journal. And let's say I select this invoice here, and I would like to generate this one. And what I can do here, I click here on the original preview. What's happening right now, again, this document will be generated, and I just get a preview of the invoice. And the second thing was happening, the generated document will be stored in SharePoint as well. So there are actually two actions behind this one. Click on the button. And now let's see what's happened. This is the preview. Here is our invoice. You see there is the address is missing. So I will add this address that you can see how easily you can add addresses or a data field within Dynamics Finance Operations as well. And again, there's a dynamic table. Then here's a picture integrated. Then there is the jump from portrait mode to landscape mode, terms and conditions, a PDF. And as I promised, the document is generated and stored in SharePoint as well. And this is what I would like to show you right now. And then I will open the template and add the address for you. And again, generate the document from Finance and Operations. So I go back to my SharePoint. Here, this is our Dynamics side. This is actually where the sales quotes as well are listed. And here there are the Finance and Operations documents. This library, and you see here it is about a minute ago, there is this specific document generated and stored in SharePoint, again with metadata directly from Dynamics Finance Operation. The invoice ID is listed here. So here it is. I just opened quickly the document to show you that it is there. Perfect, but still without address. So let's fix that. This is a full cloud scenario. We are using Docs42 Online, and we have our template for Finance and Operations here as well stored in SharePoint, which is, of course, very good because you can directly work on the template if you need to work on it, and you can still have it open while you're generating the document. So I just quickly need to do it in the desktop app. Okay. I just enter my credentials for a second here. Tick the SharePoint Online. So here is the template. This is our productive template. And what I would like to do is then, as I said, I need to add the address. And we have the same thing as everywhere with Docs42. We have our Docs42 add-in in the ribbon. There's our data map. And you see here it is, in this case, Finance and Operations data. The OData source, you can directly read entities from Finance and Operations. With the Finance and Operations data source, you can take the report, the table information from Dynamics reports if you need. And I just connected, there's everything connected. So I just need to enter my sales invoicing address, and I can search this one here. And there you see is this one opening. So I can just drag and drop it here. And just to show you a little bit more functionality, I select this one. Oh, sorry. So I will select this one and make this one bold and red. Bold is already selected. So let's say we go for red. Let's see if this is, yeah, it looks good. And now I can see what happened. I generate this one again here from here directly in Word to see if it's red right now. And after doing it, I save it, and I can directly do it with Dynamics Finance and Operations. And I have my address integrated in red without programming. So here it is to show you it is red now. That looks good for me. I save this one, I close the template, and I generate again from Finance and Operations. And if you would do that with standard report servicing programming, I guess that would be last, I don't know, I never did it, but it would last definitely longer. So let's do it right now again, make a preview. And of course here as well, all the Docs42 functionalities are working, like the SharePoint action, email action, and so on. So there are a lot of possibilities. And I see I'm running out of time. So this is, I promise this is the last document I will show you. And then we will have a look at the questions. Here it is productive. Here is the red. Yeah, normally this window is closing, but you know, Microsoft and Finance Operations. Yeah, now I have it open. Okay. Okay, here it is. I guess because I selected 2, so that was the problem. Here it is. This is my new address, and it is productive at the moment right now. Okay, so let me open the questions and have a look what you were asking. Yeah, the first question I can see, thank you for the questions. Finance, there's one question, Dynamics Finance for Operations to Dynamics 365 CE. So I'm not 100% sure what you mean with that question. Okay, there. So wait a second, I just have to open the. Perfect. Now I can see the entire question. So we're opening the window. Sorry for this. Please a second. So we have you can connect the data from Dynamics Finance Operations. You can connect it directly, but I just give you maybe I hand over to Christian for a second.
Okay, thanks a lot. So we had some troubles to read the questions. Sorry. So now here we go. Okay, because our tool here is a bit slow in showing us the question. So first question, how does Docs42 translate labels? First question. You can use labels. Docs42 does not translate labels. Docs42 can use labels from finance and operations, for example. But the best practice actually is to use a template per language. So that you have the text in Microsoft Word, because you often have different formatting per language. So this is normally the best practice. With very standardized documents, you can use the labels, but they are done. Then the templates are a bit hard to maintain because you have only blue data fields there and no text anymore. Okay, next question. How is it possible to create a sum or a subsum on the page? This is possible. It's a bit tricky, but it is possible to have subsums on page and carryovers and stuff like that. We have a sample. If you want to see that, just drop us a mail. We can show you that in an individual online meeting. It is a bit tricky, but it is absolutely possible. And we have a sample where we also integrate individual text in the very product line. So you don't have a fixed number of lines, because it would be easy if you have a fixed number of lines per page. But we can also do that with not fixed number of lines, where you integrate individual text per product, also per item line. So next, will this presentation be provided as a recording afterwards is the question. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. Sorry, yes, we will. This presentation was recorded or is recorded, and we will provide you with a recording. Next question, does Docs42 have a connector from Dynamics 365 Finance Operation to Dynamics 365 for customer engagement? Yes, Docs42 can read data from both systems, and you can trigger Docs42 from both systems. And you can also, for example, store a document to Dynamics 365 for sales, in that case, customer engagement, and that document can include data from finance and operations. So you can mix these data sources and you can interchange between these systems. Okay, do we have any more questions? Can I test Docs42? Okay, yes, you can. There is a free trial download on our website. You can just download that. Fabian is just opening it. If you want to test Docs42 together with any of the Dynamics 365 products, please state that, tell us that in a because there's a little message box when you request a free trial. Just put it there and say, I would like to use it with Dynamics 365 for sales. Then we provide you with a connector as well. Okay. What about Business Central? Yes, there is a Docs42 works together in a very similar way as Fabian has shown you for finance and operation. Docs42 works together with NAV on-prem and Business Central, of course. And the data sources for Business Central are already available via the app source, and the connector for cloud is in the making, so it will be available shortly. So, okay, do we have any more questions here? Let's see. The tool is a bit slow here. Okay, questions. Seems that we do not have any more questions here. Okay, as I said before, this presentation will be, the whole webinar is recorded, and we will provide you with the link to the recording. We will put it on YouTube. You can meet us if you want, because Docs42 is global sponsor to the Dynamics 365 community. So we are present on a lot of Dynamics 365 Saturdays, mainly in Europe. If you are not in Europe and want to meet us, just drop us a line. We can discuss your application scenario in an individual online meeting, connect you to partners, whatever you need to get you up and running with Docs42. Okay, Fabian, would you like to say something more, or at least some nice closing words?
Thank you, Christian. Yes, just thank you very much for attending the webinar. And as Christian said, we are on a lot of events. Just in Dublin on Saturday, we are in Dublin on a D365 Saturday. And yeah, just go there, visit us, or go to our website, request demos or request free trials. We are very happy to help you. Thank you very much again, and see you in a bit. Thank you.